Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today I'm going to be talking about a discussion that I've seen kind of taking place over on Twitter, or X if you want to call it that. It all kind of revolves around IShowSpeed. You probably know who that is, obviously, the streamer, and honestly, it's something that happened in the past, and it's kind of getting brought back up now, right? Like, I remember when, there's been numerous different controversies with IShowSpeed and his conduct on stream, but I remember, this time when it happened, and, obviously, there was backlash even when it happened, right? Like, obviously, it didn't go over well. People were like, yo, this joke is a little too far. And I'm going to show you the joke. I'm going to show you the clip so you can kind of get the context or whatever here. And then basically we're going to talk about this. But yeah, IShowSpeed recently got unbanned on Twitch. And apparently that was like newsworthy or whatever. Dexerto posted about it. I really don't think IShowSpeed is going to care too much. As far as I know, he's like streaming on, I'm pretty sure he streams on Kick now, right? I'm thinking he's signed. So, he's probably, whoever he's streaming for at this point, he's making money through, right? Like, he's getting a bag off of this streaming game. Really, he's kind of, at this point, his brand has outgrown Twitch. Like, he's been banned on Twitch. Obviously, he's done, once again, numerous things that have created controversy in his past and have gotten him in trouble with platforms and all kinds of different people. But I don't think he really is, like, in a mindset anymore where he's like, oh, I need to stream on Twitch. Now, I don't know if he will or not. I guess we'll see. Maybe he'll try and speedrun getting banned again, who knows, but basically a joke that IShowSpeed made a long time ago has kind of come back into question now because, like I said, Dexerto posted this, and another YouTuber who I actually really like, and I enjoy his content, you probably know who he is too, he goes by The Act Man. He made a tweet that, honestly, I and a lot of other people disagree with, and it's kind of more symbolic, I would say, of a mentality towards IShowSpeed that a lot of people have, right? And I'm not making this video to defend IShowSpeed in particular, right? Because obviously, throughout most, if not all of the controversies he's been involved in, right? Like, he kind of brought it on himself. Ultimately, his actions and the way he kind of portrays himself on his stream is what leads to a lot of this shit, because he's kind of one of those, like a Aiden Ross kind of group person, some of those new wave streamers who, they take shit way too far, they say really crazy shit, they try to, like, get shock value reaction and shit. And so the Act Man made a tweet that said, I feel like making rape threats towards a woman on stream should get you blacklisted from the site you made those threats on, but money talks and Twitch is probably desperate for a big name to sign a contract with. Now, I feel like, honestly, this tweet is a little... Honestly, it's way out of context. Let's just call it for what it is. If you had never seen the original clip of what IShowSpeed does that he's actually referring to here, you would think like he was on stream making genuine threats, like he was going to actually do something to somebody. Some like actual crazy predator type shit. What really happened was IShowSpeed was taking it too far on stream, was trying to make a funny joke. He was on like Omegle or another one of those like live chat sites where like a camera from a stranger matches you from a camera with you, and you can like have a face-to-face conversation with a stranger, I guess. And a woman came up on it, and he just kind of did this.
But remember, we have his chat log.
Say if we're the last two people on Earth, and we had to reproduce to make the world continue, would you reproduce with me?
No, because that means our kids will have to intertwine, and then their kids, no.
Who gonna stop me?
Oh, okay. You had me going there for the first part. The second half kind of threw me.
Well, dude, think about it. She's out in the middle of nowhere with some dude she barely knows. There's nowhere for me to run. What am I gonna do, say no?
Who's gonna stop me?
I will.
If we the last two people on Earth, who gonna stop me?
Okay, that seems really dark.
No, it's not dark. You're misunderstanding me, bro.
I think I am.
Yeah, you are. Because if the girl said no, then the answer obviously is no.
No.
But the thing is she's not gonna say no. She would never say no because of the implication.
You're not stopping me! If we the last two people on Earth, who gonna stop me?
But it sounds like she doesn't want to have sex.
Why aren't you
with
understanding
I
this?
don't.
She doesn't know whether she wants to have sex with me. It's that
She
that's
doesn't
not
know?
the issue.
Are you gonna hurt women?
I'm not gonna hurt these
Oh,
women.
okay.
Why would I ever hurt these women?
I don't
I
know.
feel like you're not getting this at all.
I'm not getting it.
If we the last two people on Earth, who gonna stop me?
Now, the joke he made, I think is pretty clear, it's not funny. And obviously there was some backlash when all this happened, and he got in some pretty deep shit over it. But I want to provide some important context here, comparing that to this statement that the Act Man made here. Number one, this is not really making a rape threat. I mean, let's just call it for what it is. Like, the most he says is, who's gonna stop me? Like, making a very obvious reference to it, but like, he's clearly not being serious. You know what I mean? He doesn't know who this person is that he's talking to. He doesn't know where they are, anything like that. It's not like he knows this girl lives down the street or something and he's like leaving fucking notes in her mailbox that he's gonna kidnap her and eat her organs or something. You know, like he basically went on a chat site. He made a really fucking stupid off-color joke that clearly didn't land very well, and it was completely out of pocket, and he faced the repercussions of it. I mean, like I said, at the time, it was pretty controversial. A lot of people got worked up over it, obviously. And IShowSpeed, who was, by the way, 16 at the time, he was not even an adult, he was 16 when he made this fucked up joke, has already apologized for this situation. I'm pretty sure he even apologized to the girl in particular. And it's been years, really, since this happened. And in that time period, from what I know at least, of the generic IShowSpeed story, because I'm not a big fan, but I don't think he's done anything like that again now that that situation happened. And obviously that doesn't excuse him making an off-color joke that doesn't land, right? I mean, that's the fucking worst crime on the planet. So I feel like it's disingenuous to claim that this is some sort of rape threat, right? Like, he just made an off-color stupid joke about rape. That's not making a threat outright. This is kind of like saying, you know, let's say I'm in Discord with my friend, okay? Me and my buddy are in Discord, and for whatever reason, you know, he texts my Discord kitten. You know, the biggest crime you can commit if you're Discord friends, right? And he's trying to steal my Discord kitten. And I'm like, hey man, I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'm coming to your house right now. I have a 38. I'm coming there and I'm gonna smoke your shit. Like, does that make me liable for, threatening to fucking murder this guy in reality? Like, I guess if the court got it out of context in a 1 in a billion possibility, maybe it could be dragged that way. But, I mean, anyone with any fucking, context clues or common sense can tell that IShowSpeed was not making a legitimate threat. He just made a bad joke. I mean, it happens. And I don't understand why everybody all of a sudden is acting like this kind of fucked up joke is just, brand new. As if, IShowSpeed invented this kind of, off-color humor. I remember as a kid seeing an episode of South Park air where Indiana Jones was literally repeatedly raped by Steven Spielberg. And, in graphic detail. I mean, he's, screaming. You can see everything, pretty much, except for, the very gruesome part of it all, you know? You can see the legs and the thrusts and, the facial, you can see all that shit. And that is in an episode of South Park, which is one of the most popular shows of all time, right? Family Guy, another one of the, big comedy shows I can think of, bro. One of the, main side characters, Glenn Quagmire, has spent the better part of, 2 decades roofing women, kidnapping women, all kinds of crazy shit. There's literally also an elderly pedophile in that show that is in love with Chris, who is a teenager, and repeatedly attempts to, lure young boys into his house. I mean, it feels really disingenuous to me that all of a sudden everyone is pretending making these kinds of fucked up jokes is just something that never should happen, never has happened, never can happen. You can't make jokes about these types of things. It's impossible to have these types of jokes. Now, here's the thing. Once, you can tell, I like dark humor, okay? I think dark humor is funny sometimes. The only thing is, obviously, as any joke really works, the joke has to land, right? You can tell fucked up, stupid jokes and stuff like that, but they need to actually be funny. I mean, just telling a stupid, messed up joke and it not being funny, that's not gonna land and look very well, right? So, I just don't think it should be, some sort of crime to, you know, make that kind of joke. Especially if, you show genuine sympathy for it, and, over the course of several years, right, you don't do the same thing. And then, you know, you get unbanned on Twitch, and I'm pretty sure the ban wasn't even for that in particular. I don't think he was banned for that. I think the reason he was banned was for something completely unrelated, and they just unbanned him, and then now this is getting thrown in the mix randomly, when this isn't even relevant anymore. I mean, I feel like with most of these, online controversies like this, I mean, IShowSpeed admitted that he fucked up, he apologized for the situation, he hasn't done it since, he's now become an adult, you know, he's continued to stream over the years, and, as far as I know, nothing like this has really happened again, right? So, at that that point, it's like, why even continue for me to give a fuck? Like, am I really supposed to sit here and pretend that a really fucking stupid joke a streamer made a long time ago that has basically been remedied since with an apology is something that I'm supposed to, like, believe should end their career viability? I don't really think so, right? Like, I can remember a case recently when some kid on stream playing Fortnite, like, said something like he was like, oh, I'm literally a pedophile or something, right? And he got banned off of Twitch for that indefinitely, which isn't like a permanent ban or anything, but obviously that was an off-color fucked up joke. But the difference is instead of being like, yeah, I just made a bad joke, it wasn't funny, I'm sorry, the kid like tried to double down and defend himself for a while. And I hate to even bring this up because I already know how this is going to come off. It's going to come off as like, oh, you're exposing this and bringing this up to try and cancel the act, man. That's not true at all. Before I even get into this part of the video, I want to clarify, none of the shit that I'm about to show you, I'm not showing you any of this so that you see this and you're like, oh, I don't like the Act Man anymore. He's not a good guy. I don't like his content. You know, I'm not showing you this so that you, like, have a changed opinion about the Act Man. I'm showing you this because if this is the standard the Act Man is going to say and he's going to hold other people to, I think it's really only fair to hold yourself to the same standard. So the Act Man is no stranger to controversy himself. In fact, there's two different controversies that I'm going to mention that I feel like in his way of handling them and then comparing that to his opinion on this, it really comes off pretty fucking hypocritical, to be honest. But chronologically, I guess the first big controversy is technically the usage of slurs by the Act Man, right? So a bunch of people, even in response to this tweet in particular by the Act Man about IShowSpeed here, they started posting this big picture that had like a dozen different screenshots of tweets that the Act Man has made that I guess are like bigoted and they use slurs and whatnot. I'm putting it on the screen. Obviously, it's a little bit edited because I'm not just going to show fucking 70 slurs and whatnot all over the screen and get the video nuked. But, I mean, the F slur, the hard R N-word, the N-word with an A, I mean, there's a lot of slurs and a lot of shit in here that obviously would not be considered something that ages well, would not be considered, I would say, quote-unquote acceptable jokes, right? These are things that most people would say, fuck it, you know, yeah, that's something you can get canceled over. Now, the Act Man has also made a pretty specific video kind of defending this take, right? Defending this whole situation here, which I'll put right here.
When you take yourself seriously, when you take yourself and your appearance and who you are and what you like, how you talk, where you come from, when you take that so fucking seriously that you can't handle these types of jokes when someone says the word gay or bitch or nigger or anything, when you can't handle that, it shows that you're insecure. You're not comfortable with who you are, and that's not my problem.
Boy, and here I thought those were just regular slurs that you just don't say. Come to find out, we're learning new things. Apparently, if we get called the N-word, black people, that's all right. We need to be able to internalize it and accept it, because if we can't, that just means we're insecure with who we are. Wow. Because obviously what he's saying is, all black people are N-words, and if you can't take it, you're insecure with yourself. Holy shit. And that's the guy that tried to cancel me.
I just don't understand, though, like, if it's okay for you to say slurs, it's okay for you to, like, say insults that are obviously pretty charged, pretty fucked up things to say to people, obviously considered really offensive, off-color, not really acceptable, right? Why are you trying to police other people for making jokes that are considered off-color or fucked up or messed up? Now, obviously, the threat of raping somebody is quite different than calling somebody the F-slur, right? Not really the same thing. But now that we've kind of established that it wasn't really threats and it was just a fucked up joke, I mean, it's kind of now like fucked up joke versus off-color slur-included tweet. It's not really much better, if better at all. So, obviously, though, the Act Man doesn't consider this to be something that people should, like, hold over his head or, you know, base his character off of. And truthfully, for the most part, I would agree. Like, I would agree with that take. Like, just because somebody has said some stupid shit or said words that obviously aren't good, and whatnot, or said something that people consider offensive, it doesn't mean that they're the worst person ever. It doesn't mean that they should be completely disregarded. And it doesn't really mean that their entire livelihood should be stripped from them or anything, right? So I think that if we hold these people like the Act Man to these standards, right, that, you know, what you say and joke about and, you know, what comments you make online don't define you as a person, we should kind of hold everybody with that, right? Now, the second thing I kind of want to point out with the Act Man here that I think is really hypocritical is he himself has made very off-color jokes that have gotten him, in a way, quote-unquote canceled, and he didn't like that too much. So back during the whole Quantum TV drama and whatnot between the Act Man, Quantum TV, all the characters that were involved in that whole thing, right? The Act Man made a joke on Twitter that ended up being pretty controversial, right? And I am excited to announce a new series of videos I'll be making on YouTube called Doxing Adventures with Act Man. In it, I'll be doxing and harassing the family members of YouTube employees and other content creators. It's sure to have lots of family fun, ha ha ha. Now, once again, obviously this was a joke, he was not being serious, but YouTube did not take it as a joke. His channel was demonetized after this because YouTube took this as a legitimate threat against employees and other content creators. They thought he was being serious. So he was demonetized and his whole career was completely halted, essentially, during the midst of this whole thing because he made an off-color joke that other people didn't like. Now, of course, he wasn't completely thrilled over the idea of him being basically financially impacted over an off-color joke that everyone knew was a joke. But then now that it's not him and it's somebody that, let's be honest, I feel like he kind of has a little bit of disdain for or doesn't like as a creator or person, that being IShowSpeed, suddenly now, fuck it, you know, off-color jokes and offensive edgy humor, that can't fly. That's not really a fair standard to hold. Like, I mean, ultimately, if you're gonna make fucked up, like, if you gotta think about it, right? Because people getting doxxed and swatted and harassed online, it's led to people being murdered in real life. It's led to police showing up at people's houses and shooting the wrong person or shooting somebody thinking they have, like, that shit's happened, you know what I mean? Some would say that's a pretty serious thing you shouldn't be joking about. But of course, these standards are not objective, they're subjective. Some people think that's okay to joke about, some people think it's not. And it's fine to think that IShowSpeed's joke was not funny and that it was wrong and it was off-putting. Because ultimately, it was. It didn't make most people who see it laugh. I mean, obviously, the 13-year-olds online who have been brain-rotted by TikTok, his audience, whoever, right, who did enjoy it, that's good for them, ultimately, I guess. But, I mean, it's really nothing more than that, than just a really bad joke. It's not threats, it's not something that should destroy his career. I don't know, I just kind of wanted to chime in on this because, like, I see people, like, it seems like people actually don't like IShowSpeed. And I understand that. I get why people don't. You know, he's known for doing a lot of dumb shit, a lot of really idiotic, like, stunts, and, like, really stupid, controversial shit on his streams. But I think it's really disingenuous to be like, hey, I don't really like this guy who screams, therefore, I'm going to misinterpret his off-putting jokes as legitimate threats in an attempt to have his livelihood halted. Like, I don't know, I find that kind of just not cool. So, with that being said though, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel, follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at SubTheOptimus. Make sure to check out Shoptimus down below. Thank you to my Watch Optimus subscribers. Your support helps the channel tremendously. Until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, not wanting to cancel IShowSpeed, and signing out.